Good evening and welcome to Hands Off. My name is Red Hacken. I am your host. Thank you for tuning in. So welcome to Hands Off, and my guest tonight, I'm shocked at the number of years I've actually known him, but I also know that this is his second tour of duty. It's probably been about 10 years, and so I only know him as Raf, and that's how I'm going to introduce you, but you can give a full introduction of who you are. So.
Hello, thank you. Thanks for having me. Definitely Raf as short, but Rafeal is my full name. But I go by Raf. Raf makes it easy.
Excellent. And the company that you represent is yours.
Right, CEO of Rafscoaching LLC.
That's awesome. So I went back and I looked to see when you were doing this the last time, and you were one of my first in-studio guests after COVID, like through that whole COVID thing. So, and I remember it was like July, it was like 110 degrees.
Yeah,
So let's talk about where you're at today. Like what has changed, what looks different, all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing that's changed around me is like the world, right? I think at the time where we spoke last, we were kind of in that pandemic frenzy, and it was like very closed in. Now we're open as a company. We're able to reach more people. We're able to do more events, get outside, spend more time with those folks. So, I mean, it's been great growth since we last spoke.
So that's
the biggest piece.
That's a good piece right there to kind of like launch off of. So first, let's talk about what does Rafscoaching actually do? Who are you coaching? What is your target? All of that.
So right now my target is entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So entrepreneurs that are looking to start in business, or those that are looking to start a business and not really sure where to go or how to start, or what's an entrepreneur, what's a business owner, what's a CEO, what's that all look like. So we coach directly to those individuals that are looking for help in, looking how to start their own business.
So really now thinking back to when we did this the first time, like businesses had no idea where they were going,
Right.
So to approach somebody and say, okay, hey, you want to do some coaching or whatever, I'm sure the unknown is what held people back, but now that probably has changed. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, for sure. I would definitely say that's definitely a fair statement. I think they're still, even in the process, a lot of people are still unsure about their vision, what they want to accomplish, their dreams, and then some of their business strategy. I think, that's the part you work on each and every day, but it's always great to have a coach to help you through it.
Absolutely. So, and that's a great question. So why utilize a coach? Why, jump on board and have you guide me or whoever?
So I always use the term, when I'm looking at something or I'm checking for something, I always ask for a second pair of eyes. And the reason I do that is because I would say 4 eyes is better than 2, because it just gives you a different perspective. You may see something that someone else didn't, or you may pick up on something that someone else missed. So that's like super important, and I kind of relate that to being a coach, right? A coach is there to help you through the process and then actually have you more support or give you a different perspective that you didn't have or you didn't see at first.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. What types of businesses are the entrepreneurs that are coming to you? What are they doing in terms of industry?
I see a lot of tax prep. I see a lot of different types of media, digital marketing, those type of individuals as well. And then those that are looking for like online businesses as well to start.
Okay.
Sure.
Do you have more of one versus the other?
No, I get all different types of clients all at once. And I even get some that deals with the stock market as well. That was like my first set of clients. Is the stock market. I was like, was not prepared or ready to take on someone that was interested in learning about growing their financial profiles and things of that sort. So that was really cool.
Do you have a favorite? And I'd like to say, well, I won't tell anybody, but I mean, we are filming.
I don't have a favorite, honestly. My favorite client is someone that I get to learn about. So if I'm unsure about their industry, I got to do that research on them and figure out what they like, what
That's
their
a sales
world's
line
like.
right there.
And that,
No, but I get it.
That's my favorite client.
I get it.
Something that I'm not familiar with, because then it's a learning aspect for me, and I'm able to grow with my client, and then we can work together.
Yeah.
Because that's the goal, is working together with the
Sure.
client.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, if somebody is coming to a coach, it is not going to work if they're not going to be honest and transparent and really kind of make themselves vulnerable.
Right.
I mean,
it's like going to the lawyer.
Yeah.
You have to put it out all on the table. This is exactly what it is, and this is what I need help with. So
yeah,
same
absolutely.
perspective.
So, and what, other than getting more clients, what would you say is your greatest challenge in all of that?
Challenge, I would say. I gotta say the biggest challenge. That's a good question. I wasn't really ready for that.
No. I mean,
I would say the biggest challenge is, I guess, balancing the time for myself. Serving versus servicing.
Ooh, that's good.
That was the biggest challenge that I found myself in as a leader, as a CEO, business owner. Is find that balance amongst when's the time you just turn off the switch. So
sure.
That's the biggest challenge.
I get it. I mean,
it's tough.
yeah.
I
do know, and that is translates to drive, but it also translates to insanity. So,
Right. For sure.
So speaking of which, you and I are both connected through social media, and if I say the word parking lot, can you expand on that?
Yeah, for
because
sure.
you invited me to that. So
Yes, thank you for joining. But it's been the biggest project in Rafscoaching LLC is the entrepreneur parking lot. I call it Raf's Corner. And what I wanted to do with this parking lot, it's an entrepreneur parking lot that people can visit, that are business owners, that are not business owners, that are entrepreneurs or looking to start. And then in this parking lot, when I thought a parking lot, everyone gets in the car, they go to one spot, they hang out. It's kind of like that burger joint, and you sit on the back of the car and you talk and you get up. But this entrepreneur parking lot is a place where someone can go to find answers, find best tools and resources for free. And that was the biggest mission. And since we started in it's been 3 months. We've grown almost up to 2,000 members, so
that's insane.
Yeah, super excited. And I go live every Monday or Friday just to introduce people and tell what we do here to keep people alive. I had some groups that I was part of, and I never saw the moderators or the admins.
Right.
Who are these people? Who's running this thing?
They're like phantoms.
I wanted to tell a story, but also help individuals as well.
Yeah, and just to kind of like expand on that, from my own personal perspective, I remember, I don't remember what it was I was looking for, but you saw it on just regular social media outside of the group and then posted it inside of the group looking for somebody that may have a connection or could be a direct resource as well too. So I do love that, and I think that it's a great service that connects individuals in there. So, and then let's talk about, and I know that we're going to come to the halfway point here. So let's talk about Masterclass. So you have that's coming up soon, right?
This weekend.
Yeah.
The time you guys see, you'll miss it. But I have another one coming out towards the holidays. So that's a cool thing. But the Masterclass is it's very similar to the parking lot, but it's just a dedicated group that can get that information, and it's the right information. And then I think a lot of things that we see on platforms is a lot of information, right? So what's the right information and how do you do it? So the classes take individuals step by step in the process, and they show like screen grabs of what looks right, what looks wrong, what is a SEO, things of that sort.
Okay, so you're really kind of working with the business, giving them some sort of direction on what, marketing themselves or growth?
The first set of classes is around how to start a business from the operational side.
Okay.
And then the second day is also about branding and marketing.
Okay.
So, the next set of classes will probably be about business credit and resources.
So you just answered my question. I was going to say, so it's great. It's great. Is each class something different?
Yes. Yeah.
And you don't necessarily have to be in the first one in order to attend the second one.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
Yeah.
So, all right. So what I want to do is I want to take a break because I don't want to. I don't want to have to stop when we get into the next stuff that I want to talk about. So when we come back, I'm going to kick it off with talking about some of your videos that you do,
All right.
which are very entertaining. And then we'll pick it up from there. And then I really want to dive into. I'm not even going to say what it is. I'm going to wait until we come back because it is something that totally fascinates me, and I think it will the rest of the audience. So we will be right back.
Aloha! Joe Silva here with Kukua Technologies. I'm excited to see you on Tuesdays on Morning Coffee for our tech tips.
Let's face it, lawyers get a bad rap. I'm Erin Brucey, host of Legal Breakdown, where we dissect legal topics for the everyday viewer, with a mix of interesting guests to talk about current events and hot legal topics. Let's work together to make the law accessible and relevant to everyone. Catch us every week on RVN Television.
A stroke can be easy to detect. A loved one can't speak, perhaps they can't move. But there's another sign of a stroke that many of us can't see. It's called spatial neglect, and it can occur during or after a stroke, causing distorted visual movements. Fortunately, there's a solution by using optical prism technology during rehabilitation. If you or a loved one have experienced a stroke, ask your doctor about spatial neglect. Spatial neglect. See the whole picture at KesslerFoundation.org.
Welcome back to Hands Off. I'm here with Rafeal Mersier, and he's from Rafscoaching. And thanks for doing this and coming back in here to talk about this again. And I kind of want to hit on one thing that a lot of people might not understand the connection of having you in here and talking about this, but and when we get into the next segment, I think that they'll really it'll come together. But I want to point out that sometimes there's an indirect resource that happens. So this show focuses on individuals that have gone through some sort of traumatic experience, gotten back up on their feet, whatever, and directing them to resources, of which you directed me to somebody that you were working with, Brandon Garcia, who was on this show, was interviewed, and then he also came and did a webinar for our recovery platform to get individuals that are coming out of recovery, how do they recover their credit and all of that. So that is like, that is a great example of, that connecting with you has put me in that connection with somebody else that helps a broader audience that, ties into this. So having said all of that, let's jump right into, let's talk about the routine. Tell me what you're doing and why you talk about it and why you find it important.
Yeah, so the routine is about the body. And I started to do this routine about 60 to 90 days ago, and I really wanted to crush my goals. So I said, hey, how am I going to crush my goals? How am I going to finish this quarter? How am I going to go into the next 3 years? Because I had these goals lined up, and I need to accomplish them, right? So the routine helps clear my mind and keep focus on my goals. So how did I do the routine? It's about the body. And I learned that the body will control your emotions. Once you have your emotions controlled, you can then start making sharper decisions and lead it. And the routine is pretty much, it's a 9-minute routine every morning, 3 minutes of things that I'm grateful for,
Okay.
3-minute prayer, and then 3 things that I want to focus on to accomplish in the week.
Okay.
So testimonials for sure, but
Okay.
that routine definitely helps me accomplish these goals.
So, and this is done in the morning?
Yeah.
And is this done, are you writing this down? Are you saying it out loud? It blends?
Right, so It's kind of like a blend, like you said, but definitely saying it out loud, closing my eyes, and then it's kind of funny. It's called the Wonder Woman Superman stance. The studies show that if you do the stance for 2 to 3 minutes, it lowers the anxiety, and then
Okay, I'm loving all of this. Yeah, I mean, I know we have limited space, but what does the stance look like? Like, can you?
It's literally like the Superman.
Oh,
stance.
okay,
Yeah,
like,
so
yeah.
like,
Okay, so like truth, justice, and
right,
all of that. Okay.
You know, look at the Justice League, Superman.
Oh my
their
God!
stance.
My first thing was
Yeah.
like Saturday morning cartoons, and okay.
Do that for 3 minutes every day.
Okay.
And after you get done with that stance, you'll feel a difference in your body, which then sets you up for the day, and you
Sure.
can hit the ground running. So.
And I also want to touch on, because I think that this is it contributes to it as well too, and that is you are a big fan of going to the gym, fitness, eating well. To the best of all of our abilities.
Right.
I mean, come on, we all have our moments.
for sure.
But can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so they're kind of tied into the routine piece, right? Going to the gym, making sure that balance is there, is super important. It's just, you got to give that 1 hour or that 45 minutes or the 30 minutes back to yourself each day. That's super important, because if you don't give anything back to yourself, you're kind of cheating yourself, right? So the importance to give back to yourself and pat yourself on the back, or say, here's an accomplishment, and then you'll feel so much better. You'll start making better decisions with your life, and you'll be more sharper.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I have had a morning routine since 2015, I think it was. I might be odd. It might be 2014, 2015. But regardless, it has been relatively the same, and that is, get up, meditate,
Right.
journal. I do 5 grateful. I do 3 grateful. I do 3 things on how I want the day to look. And then I do 3 I am statements that are of a positive nature. And I also recap the previous day. You can also do it at night if you want to, but I choose to do it then. So,
cool,
and I will also tell you that there's some pieces in that are goal setting. And I tell this all the time. September 8th of I think it was 2015, I wrote in there that said, I want to host a TV show.
There you go.
And so here we are.
There
so,
we are. Congratulations.
so I do believe in that whole process. I love the whole Superman Wonder Woman pose.
Yeah, definitely try it. It's
yeah,
amazing.
and I do love the whole meditation thing. And meditation can be all, you said prayer,
Right.
so it can be whatever you want. But to me, it is. We wake up in the morning. That's just how our body works. But then there's this level of conscious waking up, and that's where that comes from for me. So,
for sure.
And those principles apply to really just about anybody. I don't know anybody that it couldn't. And I know that some things are not for some people, and that's okay. But I really am an advocate of it, and I'm sure that you see it that way.
Right.
Even if you want to just write one thing that you're grateful for, or one goal for the day, like, I don't even care if you write it on like an expo board in front of you. Like, it
everyone's
just,
grateful for something.
yeah, it sets the tone,
and resets what your purpose is.
yeah,
It's great.
like opening your eyes or whatever. So, how often do you apply some of that to masterclass or Rafscoaching? Do you find that is there a common denominator that others are doing this as well before they come and see you, or is this something that they pick up when they do meet you?
I think that's something that they pick up, and they probably are very similar interests in as well. Because when I'm sharing posts, or they're loving exactly the same thing, and then it's really about your audience and then what you're putting around yourself, that you start to see, like, oh, this person is doing the same thing I'm doing, or they got the same interest. So that's super important as well. We could go on and on about that.
I mean, that's like a whole, it's like a whole nother show, because honestly, people ask, well, what is the point of meditating? I drift off every time I'm doing it. I'm like, okay, well, that's the point, is that you're recognizing that and bringing yourself back.
Yeah, it's a focus.
And how many times during the day in life that curveballs get
happens
thrown,
all the time.
and right, so you need to figure out how you're going to bring yourself back to where you're going,
focus,
and
right?
yeah, the focus. So I love that. And then the other thing I wanted to bring up, and I want to make sure that we don't run out of time, because I believe that there's levity, a need for levity in everything that we do. It breaks the ice. It makes people feel good when you laugh or when you smile. So talk to me about some of the videos that you've done, because
Yes.
I will tell you that as we connected, you know, we were already connected as, you know, Raf and Rhett. Then we connected as Rafscoaching.
Right.
And I am not gonna lie,
What is
when
this?
you started, I was like, what in the hell is he doing? And then I kind of got it. So
Right.
let's talk about that.
Right, yeah, for sure. I wanted to connect with my people, like outside of just the like business, black and white, because sometimes it gets very like black and white, business, always business, right? So I wanted to show them who I was, like the personality of Raf, like the other side of Raf, the home Raf, the funny Raf. So I started to make skits, and I made skits about the pandemic. I made skits about food. I made skits about comedy, your favorite movie.
And explain what home looks like
Right.
at home, right?
Homes are kids everywhere.
It's a full plate, but
right.
you know,
The kids, the
right.
family.
How old are your children?
I have 2, 3, and then I have a 13-year-old
Okay.
as well. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're getting big fast, but showing them that, you know, I also balance with a family as well. So I understand the day-to-day life as a family man, and then trying to juggle work and run a business. So I get it, but I wanted to bring it into real time, and those were the skits and things came from.
Yeah.
But
And there's
able
like
to connect.
satire to it or something. Like it's almost like a, I don't want to say mockery, but it humorizes like just that whole world of that piece to it, and also bringing in, you know, here's this gentleman that's running a business and dealing with it as well too. I think it humanizes, is really on top of all of that. So, and his family is, just so that everybody understands, they're in the videos. Like he's including
part
them,
of
like
it, yeah.
his kids, and like I mean it, and it's funny. Like I
Yeah.
think it really does lighten the load.
Thank you.
What do you want to do? Like, where do you like? What is like the ultimate goal?
I think that's God's choice, honestly.
I know.
I'm sorry.
you know,
Like, it really is. But, you know, to continue to help people to accomplish their goals. That's my main, you know, to help people. But wherever I end up, that's God's choice, honestly. I can't say.
I totally
honestly.
understand. You know, I guess my thing is, you know, when you're doing your thing in the morning, I'm doing my thing in the morning, and we're writing down whatever the goals of the day are.
Yeah,
Like, what do they look
knows,
like?
Yeah, he knows.
What do you have?
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Go ahead. What was your question?
What do you have as like the goal of that day? Or
Right. To just be the best I can be, honestly. To be the best, to deliver the best, and then I always say to continue to serve my people.
100%. And
That's
are there days, like at the end of the day, that you're hard on yourself?
So I used to be really hard on myself, but the routine has helped me not be so stressed and hard on myself, because I'm more at ease and I understand where I'm at,
Totally
and
get
I'm
it.
more focused. Without that routine, I was super stressed. You know, my girl would ask me, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't really know, you know? But now I understand my routine, my process. I know who I am, what I want to accomplish. And that goes back to taking care of the body. Once you take care of that body, the body will take care of you. So
I think
great.
that gratitude level sets that whole, you know, you're driving to hit your goals, of course. But it's also to recognize the ones that you've achieved.
Right.
And
Right.
that like level sets it for that. You're like, oh, okay, well, you know, I've got this, I've done it, I appreciate it, and it validates that I can do it.
Right,
And
for
you know,
sure.
so so before we run out of time, I want to make sure that, so if somebody's watching this and they want to get in touch with you, what is the best way for them to do? You are free to give out whatever information you want.
The best
so.
way you could reach me is just rate in Google. If you type in Rafscoaching LLC all together, I'll pop right up. Or you can also Google my name, Rafeal Mersier, and everything will pop up as well.
So I love asking this question. So this interview is going to wrap up and we're going to be done. What are you going to do after that? What do you do?
Going back to home, going back to spend time with the family.
Okay.
Who knows, maybe make a video or something.
I was gonna say that. So you took the words right out of my mouth. So, and then here's my next question. What do you have planned tomorrow?
I had to prep for the master class. You know, I got a lot of things already set up and ready to go. Just sending some reminders, giving people one last chance to register. So that'll be the next task tomorrow. Just
I love it.
Last final reminders.
Let me just say this as we get to the end. First of all, it was so pleasing to see you promoting that masterclass and seeing how many people actually were like signing up for it. That's a testament to individuals having, I agree, but they have to have faith in you.
Thank you, thank you.
And whatever message it is that you're giving. And whether that message comes from God or just experience or whatever, somebody's believing in you.
Thank you,
and if nothing else, I hope it's you believing in yourself.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
anyway,
Thank you.
Awesome, thanks for doing this.
No problem.
All right, so that is our show. And I hope that if you're watching this and you know kind of the audience and the people that we bring on here, that you've been able to connect the dots. But just in case you haven't, I'm just going to point out that the power of that positive thinking and directing your life, and I call it self-empowerment. That's why we do self-empowerment recovery and all that is what this is all about. So take it from a coach that knows. So that's our show, and we look forward to you tuning in again. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.